Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion of the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Over there, you will find a description of the day's astrology as I have spelled it out here. Here, I'll discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'll play another card that, in the context of today's astrology, may just give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Six of Swords, and it's here for a reason. It's here because it corresponds in astrology with the second 10 days or the second decan of the sun's transit here in the land of Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is an air sign. Swords in Tarot represent air element symbolism, and air element symbolism is really all about the intellect, our ability to analyze situations, to use logic, to make plans, and to communicate with other people. So we come to the Six of Swords here, and we see a scene that looks a little bit like a getaway, doesn't it? And that's exactly what it is. It's a moment when we have chosen to turn away from a situation, either because we feel unsafe or we just feel rejected or we just feel that it isn't working for us in some way. But there's this sort of sense of mourning here. You've got this sort of hooded figure protecting what looks like might be a child, and then somebody sort of driving the getaway card there. But then we have all these swords stuck in the floor of this boat. And if you think about swords as thoughts, plans, and communications, then this is sort of like what's on our mind as we're making our escape, right? So this is very much a card about transition. It's about moving on and leaving something behind. It's sort of a journey, a physical journey, or also just a journey of the heart and mind that is initiated so that we can remove ourselves from past sorrows, from things that aren't working for us, from things that are making us sad or angry, making me sad or angry for sure, and this is sort of that urge or that idea, or actually taking the action to move away from a situation that is harmful or upsetting to us. Okay, so this is the kind of thing that is necessary for our progress. We're not always very happy to walk away from, say you see a lot of swords there. So say like a collaboration, perhaps we had plans with a whole group of people to accomplish something together, and somehow we got sort of left out of the plans, or we got sort of rejected by the group, or perhaps we rejected the group. No telling whose words and whose thoughts, plans, and communications those are right there. But obviously that they are an outstanding reason for this getaway to happen, right? So we're leaving a painful place. We're going to a more distant environment that promises more potential for us. All right. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this card. Oh, we got the moon. Woo! Okay, so moon is a major arcana card. Major arcana cards are bigger message cards, right? This is a card that has something to do with sort of feelings we deal with every day, all the time, or might have to deal with at some point in our life, probably more than once. And the moon is just sort of a major message card. It says more to us. It's got a stronger impact. Okay, and this one's a tough one for a lot of people. It's about sort of unbecoming ourselves, and sort of allowing ourselves to unravel a little bit from our identity, such that we can look within our own sort of psychic depths, our own intuitive depths, beneath the layer of emotions, to what's really deeply going on there. Okay, and sort of this is about getting to know the part of yourself that you keep hidden. This is about getting to know the part of yourself that you may not be so proud of, or getting to know a part of yourself that frankly you you possibly didn't realize was there, right? Okay, so that those are all things that are possible in the human experience. You know, we don't come into this world just knowing ourselves so well that you know that there's nothing new to discover. There's always something else down there to discover, and the subconscious is bigger than the conscious. So there will always be something to confront there. So, you know, this is being mindful of the shadow, you know, being an acknowledgement of the thing beneath the water, right? The thing underneath the emotions, which is the part of us that sort of sneaks up on us and sneaks up out of us when we find ourselves under pressure or stress. Okay, so the reason that we want to confront this part of ourselves, the reason that we want to sort of take off our facade and allow ourselves to be a little more bluntly honest and think about ourselves in very real terms. The reason we want to do this, the reason we want to face you know, a part of the subconscious, a part of the shadow, is so that we understand why, when we're under stress or pressure, those tendencies creep up, okay? And I don't know if I'm explaining that very clearly, but basically, if you're always in denial about the parts of yourself that you're not proud of, if you're always trying to push them away, if you're always trying to pretend they don't exist, then when you find yourself under stress or pressure, those things are going to rise up and they're going to act through you without your knowledge or consent. Right? They push their way through. You know, you think, I'm not an angry person, I don't like to get angry with like that, and then you get really angry and you act out and you act a fool, and you didn't mean to say those things and you didn't mean to do those things, but there it is, you've already done it. And that was partly because you were in denial of the fact that there's a part of you that's capable of that. So we have to get real with ourselves about what we're capable of. We have to be real with ourselves about those things that we're not proud of, those things that, you know, we would rather not acknowledge are a part of ourselves. Guess what? They're a part of everybody. And that's the simple truth. And being an acknowledgement, at least, of, hey, this is a part of me that can come up, you know, that allows us to think about the circumstances we're getting ourselves into, to think about the way we're relating to others and to the world in general, and to you know, find a way to keep ourselves in a sort of safe zone where we don't feel like that acting out is going to happen, right? We're not going to feel a level of pressure, partly because we know what's there, and partly because we know better than to put ourselves in situations where that part of ourselves has to come out. And that's just what's coming up for the moon with me today. I did a lot of shadow work last year. Can you tell? Anyway, so where do we see the moon on the page? Well, we can go directly to the moon. The moon is in Gemini. It has been conjunct, you know, more or less to Mars for the past day. And it is a waxing gibbous. So this is a time, actually, it's a very sun-heavy time right now, which is why it's a little surprising that the moon came up, but not really. Okay, it's a very sunny time right now. It's you know, we've got this Sun trine Mars thing going on that is really just like this ease of taking action toward things that have to do with our sense of purpose. It's really this. It's like a blessing that says, you know, when you take action toward those things that drive you, toward those things that fire you up, toward those things that make you feel like you want to take action on them, right? When you take action toward those bigger goals that you have, those better ideas that you have about yourself, that desire to heal yourself physically and psychologically, there's not really much difference. You know, when you're taking action on that stuff, you will be blessed with personal growth, and you will also be blessed with some personal healing. So that's what the sun is doing right now with Mars, and we're about to go into this solar imbolc, right? We've been sort of in lunar imbolc for about a week and a half, and because the moon reached its midpoint before the sun did. And so that's been a time, like in our personal lives, to sort of dust out the cobwebs of the psyche, to sort of get past the emotions and be real with ourselves about, you know, sort of the gestation we've gone through over the past year, but especially in the winter season, to be real with ourselves about who we have been and what we'd like to be going forward, right? So, Imbolc, the solar observation is more about, your workspace, your creative space, your social and civic spaces. It's about taking opportunities to volunteer and to do public service. It's also about taking opportunities to just clean up those creative spaces and also to connect with people, especially people who are your collaborators, your co-conspirators at this time, to go ahead and start collaborating and conspiring about what it is that you're going to do this year. Well, this is this beautiful vibration, this beautiful, very harmonic, very choir of angels singing, sort of supporting you, a little bit of a levitation vibe as we act toward those things that really fire our hearts at this time. So, please take advantage of that vibe. Please take it, and please take it into this, celebration on February 2nd with the idea of what it is that you're creating this year, okay? What it is that you're really going to create and who you have to work with to do that, okay? So, the reason the moon, it's funny that the moon came up here because it's sort of considered, it's like the opposite of the sun, right? That's the way we think of it, because there are two luminaries. They're the two biggest planets for us in astrology. The sun and moon are also planets. They're the two biggest planets for us, and they shed the most light in our skies. And we are approaching the full moon coming up on Saturday or Sunday. I believe it's on Sunday. It's on Sunday. So we're coming up to that full moon on Sunday, and when we have the full moon, what do we really have? We have the sun's light reflected fully back at us, in the middle of the night, basically. So the sun, the sun is in opposition to the moon, which means from our perspective, they're on opposite sides of the sky from one another. You could watch the moon sink while the sun rises. And so the sun's light, we don't see a shape on the moon. It's just a perfect circle of light, and that is the sun's light being reflected, lighting up our night, giving us a chance to get out in the evening and enjoy the darkness and in a festive way sort of celebrate the culmination of the things that we have done, okay? And that can be about the culmination of the work, the inner work that we have done too, as everything was retrograde and it is now full steam ahead. There are no retrograde planets at this time, okay? So while you were doing all that rethinking, reassessing, having to do things twice, having to try again, having to come back and sweep up messes that we've made, we've done all of that review and reassessment, and now we get to really notice what it is that you've achieved here in terms of personal work, and celebrate that with your new moon as well. Celebrate that with your rising sun at Imbolc as well. Celebrate the fact that we have come through another winter. We have come through another long, dark night of the soul, and here we are, renewed, fresh, but still ourselves. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so when I put the Six of Swords together with the moon, and heaven knows I probably rambled forever here, I think this is a matter of like what we're running to, right? Like perhaps we found ourselves in a situation here where we were in a collaboration, we were in a group of people, and either, the way they were doing things wasn't working for us and we had to move away. They were hurtful. It was a harmful situation. It was a toxic situation. Or maybe we got rejected from that situation. I get reminded all the time right now that rejection is the God's protection. So, I take rejection with a like, yeah, thanks, cool, I'm going to move on, right? And this is a very moving on kind of vibration, kind of energy. We're moving on from, sort of turmoil in the past and the present to a future that is a little more calm state of mind, calm state of heart. And when we get to that calm state of mind and calm state of heart, what are we going to do? What we're going to do is reflect and review where we've been. We're going to think about who it is that we have been in relationship to this situation that we had to move away from, right? And learn what we can about ourselves from it, and then we're going to move forward with that knowledge intact in our conscious. Yeah. All right, friends, I think that's all I have to say about it. I truly appreciate your presence here. Thanks for coming to listen to me ramble about astrology and tarot. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.